Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now, you might be wondering why I haven't uploaded anything in over 3 months, and why I've taken a hiatus. This video, I plan to explain why I have to take this hiatus, and I didn't really just want to make a random update video. I still wanted to make an actual video, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Alright, so what you guys are seeing right here is a manga page that I decided to redraw from the Dragon Ball Super manga, and it's very popular for one reason, as in the actual manga artist who drew it, he had another person who was a rival growing up who also redrew it. Alright, so this is the original drawing from the manga. The artist is known as Toyotaro. Growing up, he was actually a fan artist for Dragon Ball, and he drew some very popular Dragon Ball manga that was fan-made. And now, like I said, it's very popular because he drew this, and then his rival, Young Gigi, who also was a popular fan manga artist for Dragon Ball, decided to draw this one. And it was just like some friendly little competition, just to kind of show the differences in style between the two of them. I'm not going to be saying either one of them is better or worse, just as I'm not going to say I'm better or worse. It just goes to show that there's multiple different ways to show how you can draw a manga of the exact same scene. And that's also one thing I wanted to do today, was just show how I draw my manga. Alright, so I always start off drawing the panels on a page first. I'm very good at picturing a page layout in my mind and like the ways I want it to flow, so I really don't often have to sketch things out first. Like, I can picture a page layout very well. Right here I'm just drawing a bubble, and I'm going to start drawing a character behind him.
Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
I usually don't draw the bubbles first, but because I was using reference, it was like the first thing that was really like in the focus for me, so my brain saw it first and just decided to draw it first anyway. But normally I do draw the characters first, and then I draw the sketch bubbles in.
Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your name.
I really like the way Goku turned out here, but in a bit, whenever I draw Piccolo, I actually had to change it around and draw him a little bit differently. And right here, what I'm doing is that I'm highlighting the inside of the bubble, because I drew the bubble on a different layer, and since I obviously don't want Goku showing up within that bubble, I highlight the inside of it, and then I just delete everything on the layer that Goku's in. So it looks like the bubble's appearing in front of him.
Close to the sun.
I had some trouble drawing Piccolo a little bit. Because like I said, I couldn't really get the angle right on him and Goku. So I have to go back and change the angle that Goku is drawn at least on his face. Yeah, right here. I really haven't drawn Piccolo too much, so I was using heavy reference on him from the page I was drawing from, especially on this arm. some little background details. I usually go a lot more detail into the background whenever I draw, but it wasn't too much detail on the original. Now, whenever I draw, yeah, I like to draw from that angle or from that side instead of the other side. I don't know why, my brain just pictures it a lot better. I actually did have a lot of trouble on Vegeta for some reason. I could not get his Widow's Peak right to save my life. Everything I tried just looked bad. And finally I gave up and I moved his ear just a little bit closer. I went ahead and moved his collar up. I realized I made it a bit too far down. His normal outfit does look a little bit different than that, and I'm used to drawing it a lot lower on his neck. Now this one is like the big panel. This is the one I put the most time and effort into. I'm pretty good at drawing side profiles, but I had some trouble with Vegeta here for some reason. I think it was just the fact that I was recording it and started choking or something. Like no matter how hard I tried, I just could not get his side profile right. Also the way that the side right there, I always draw like a little indentation next to the eye, while in, I believe, both in Akira Toriyama's and Toyotaro's designs, the little indentation really isn't there. It's usually just a smooth curve up to the cheekbone and jawline. But the way I draw my characters in my own story, I've always added that little indentation there. And there again, I think I drew the collar too low, and I went ahead and raised it up a bit. And then right here, the way the shading underneath the jawline is done is always horizontal on Dragon Ball characters, which is different for me, because I always do diagonal lines. I do it diagonal pointing into the left, or to the right side, I mean. So it was just a little bit different there too. I've drawn a lot of arms, so I'm not too worried about those. I feel like these turned out pretty good. I had some trouble here on the chest plate. It just, like I said, I've never drawn this armor before on Vegeta, so it just looked, or it was just, I was having to use heavy reference for it. For never drawing his outfit here, I really like the design of it. I kind of wish it got used more, to be honest. Oh, and right here, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start coloring it in, like, I'm going to use this as the shading. And you'll see in a bit why I'm not coloring it in as fully black. And it is like a style that I know Akira Toriyama is really popular for. Akira Toriyama doesn't normally use tones, and he does this line work right here to show like a gray color, or like something is being lit up, like a dark color being lit up. And yeah, Akira Toriyama is very, very popular for doing that kind of stuff. Just adding some more and more details on the armor. Like I said, this is like the most detailed picture. Right here I'm getting ready to start drawing like the aura around him, and I feel like I'm really good at drawing aura. And this is even more of the aura popping up. I did the thing again where I'll draw in front of him and I highlight it and delete it. Now here comes the fun part. So once again, I'm doing the highlight tool, and I'm going to draw a little bit in each of the, fiery looking things. And I'm also going to go through on his hair as well, and I'm going to add a tone that's going to go through all of it. Normally I would fill in the whole thing with tone, but I kind of want to have it look like it's being lit up as well, so I am leaving part of it white. And now I'm selecting the tone. And bam, there we go. There's Vegeta going Super Saiyan Blue. Alright, right here, I'm starting to draw Kaba. His eyes are a little bit weirder when compared to other Dragon Ball characters. Of course, Dragon Ball characters, I feel like Akira Toriyama doesn't really stick with one design whenever he's drawing somebody. But I feel like I did really well on his character specifically for never drawing him before.
Calm before the storm, gold and diamond, jewels behind the throne.
One thing that I did add that wasn't on the original one drawn by Toyotaro, and I didn't even look to see if it was drawn on young Gigi's, was the battle marks, like the dirt and dust and scratches on their faces. I noticed Toyotaro didn't keep those in between the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Blue transformation. If you've never watched Dragon Ball, I bet you all of these are just sounding pretty ridiculous. May not even be making much sense.
Hide and seek, reason and rhyme, grand and glorious, living the dream.
Alright, now right here, I'm drawing speed lines for the background. And this is normally the way I do it, that I'll highlight the area, and I'll go from a specific middle point, and I'm using his mouth as the middle point. I feel like I'm really good at drawing speed lines personally. Right here I'm doing the same thing with his shirt, because it was a black colored shirt, but to give it that feeling of speed line and depth, I went ahead, excitement and depth, I went ahead and I did the speed lines on it too, but I made them a little bit thicker, a little bit darker.
Now or never, strong in every step.
Pose that Toyotaro and young Gigi did was different on this one than the one I drew. They drew basically the same pose, but just from the angle that I was drawing at, I knew it was just going to be different. Also, I had a little bit of trouble drawing his nose. It kept looking just a little bit off. But out of all the panels I drew, I think this one probably looked the best. Right there again, I drew the collar too short, or too low on his neck. I'm doing like a little bit of a thumb pose because that's his he does that iconic thumb point at himself pose, and he says like, "Oh, I'm the best." He does it all the time. Going back through, like I said, I'm not really explaining the bubble thing each time, but I do that on every single panel where there's dialogue. I actually, up until maybe a month or two ago, I didn't know about the highlighter tool. So normally what I would do is that I would go through and put the tone on the whole screen and then just erase around the edges. Also right here, I had a lot of trouble in drawing this guy, but I think he turned out really well. But yeah, I used a lot of reference whenever I drew him, I should say. He's just kind of like a fat Winnie the Pooh looking thing. Right there, if I were to redo it, I would actually put the tones in on his shirt first, and then add a lot more of the details, just so I don't have to use the highlighter to get in between the seams and the collar. So right here I'm starting to draw Hit, who's like the big baddie, quote unquote, for this arc. He's not necessarily a bad guy. He is an assassin, so, you know, you could take him as a bad guy, but he's the big villain. Like, he's the strong one that everyone has to fight. Like I say, he was probably one of the harder ones to draw. Especially, he had his arms crossed in a really weird way. It took me just a bit to figure all that out. Like, he didn't have it normally, because like he's hunched over and his elbows are like super far in the reference. But yeah, I think he ended up looking pretty good. One thing I will say, I think I did too light of a tone on him. With that color there, I feel like I did too light of a tone. Maybe it's just me. Right here I'm going to start adding some more details on the background. Kind of have it look like it's like a weird stone-tiled platform. And then right here there's going to be a giant metal man robot looking thing in the background. And to be honest, I was running a little bit late for something, so I really wasn't too worried on the specifics of the design. I was just like, I'm gonna draw a big metal robot man, and he has like 2 windows on his chest because he has lava inside. And so I just drew a big robot metal man sitting down in the background. Right there, I was trying to figure out a good way to make the lava scene there. Right there, I'm just using like water surface. So maybe it could look like water's in there, but just because everyone in the story calls it lava, you know, you would be more inclined to think of it as being lava in there. Yeah, I think he turned out pretty good. Right there, I'm doing another bubble. I delete his entire left arm. I'm adding some kind of lines around hit there very quickly to show that he's moving slowly, or that there is some slight movement. And right now I'm going to start typing in the words. I always do the words last. I don't go panel by panel. And I pretty much word for word copied what they said in the official translation. I could only find a good copy of a fan translation of it. But yeah, word for word I did basically the official translation. Now, this is a little different right here, because I think in the original manga, he actually drew or inked in the word, like, or the sound effects, which is something I would like to do, and he had it to where it was like GW on the top left and then OOO on the bottom right. But me being me, I just went for the, you know, long type down word of that. I feel like I don't like covering up the art. But yeah, there we go. So, there was just a few things I wanted to say on this. With mine, you know, I didn't want it to seem as crowded. I don't really draw a whole lot of details with the tone work whenever I draw my own manga. So that was definitely like something that was really new that I had to get used to whenever I was actually using the reference of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Another thing I'd like to point out is that the one that Toyotaro drew and the one that young Gigi drew both had an extra panel in there with Champa and Whis exclaiming that, oh, he transformed again. And I went ahead and cut that out because I just felt like it made the page too cluttered and it wasn't really necessary, in my opinion. Because I feel like the conversation should only be between Kaba and Vegeta right now. And if you were to add that, it would just kind of break up the conversation, like, you know, really quick. I think the other biggest thing I changed was the fact that I made Vegeta faced to the left instead of the right in the big panel where he transforms into Super Saiyan Blue. And that's just one thing that I personally look for whenever I'm drawing, is that there's like a flow to the manga that you kind of need to keep. And the fact that I had Vegeta looking to the left instead of to the right away from the page, you're more naturally inclined to follow his eyes over to Kaba and then down again. You know, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I feel like it helps with the flow of the work. And other than that, I kind of wanted to make this video just to kind of show how much time goes into making a page. Because this was, like I said, a lot of detail that I normally don't take a whole lot of time to do in my own manga. But this page itself took around 3 hours to make, and my average manga page takes close to that same amount of time. Maybe closer to 2 hours. But that was one thing I was just wanting to get across in this video, is that between my full-time job and the comic, I just don't really have a whole lot of time to really continue with this YouTube show. And it's a little upsetting. I'm not going to say I'm quitting or that I'm quitting the channel or anything, because I really did have a lot of fun making the videos. But I'm definitely going to have to postpone it until I find free time to continue making this show and not just, not be constantly overworking myself. So, I don't know if I'll make a video anytime soon. Maybe in another 3 months I'll make another video. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys later.